Good morning to whoever you are watching this video. I'm Joe. I'm your host today. I would say host with the most, but I've got not anywhere near the most. Maybe closer to the least. But it's going to be a very fun first video. I'm not sure that it'll be that fun because I'm just going to work. It's a lot of highway riding. We're going to go to work. Y'all are going to get to see where I work. And it's going to be okay. At the most. So here we go. On the road again. I can't wait to get on the road again. Seeing places I don't really want to go. I can't wait to get on the road again. So, I am Joe. I am a transplant. Learned how to use that word properly in this context from Yellowstone, thanks to Casey and Tate. I did not grow up where I currently live. I've lived here for the past 4 years, just over, and I have enjoyed it, but you know, it's not where I grew up, so it's taken me a while to get used to and familiar with and comfortable with certain things that are you know, part of living here in the great state of, that's right, Arkansas. But here we are in lovely Arkansas. I am headed down Interstate 40. Most of y'all have been on this interstate more than a few times. It is a major roadway through the United States of America, and we'll get to why that is important for me and my job here in just a little bit. Maybe not in this episode, but in a future episode for sure. But yeah, I'm headed to work. I've got a 2019 harley-davidson Road King. I paused because I was thinking of something clever, because there's not much left of it that's a Road King, but it is a Road King. So, beautiful state of Arkansas. It was not supposed to be this way today. It was supposed to be raining. It is a couple days before Christmas. It does not feel like Christmas. It still feels, you know, kind of October-y, November-y, because the last couple years that I've been here, despite everyone saying, oh, it doesn't happen, it snowed. Okay, I'm not happy about it. We're not going to talk about it long, but it snowed. This year it didn't snow. Now today the high is like 65. Right now it's like 55, and it was supposed to be raining all day, and it didn't. And now I'm happy because I get to ride my motorcycle. Here I am riding my motorcycle. The majority of the reason for this channel is to talk. If you know me personally, I'm sorry, first of all. Second of all, I like to talk. And usually I can go off on a tangent 6 or 7 times in one particular conversation, and it is miles away from the original point of initiation of that conversation as far as subject matter. But I love to talk. I'm going to talk. We're going to do it however often I feel like doing it. There may or may not be some review videos. There may or may not be some installation videos due to where I work, which again we'll cover at the end of this episode, because that's how this happens. I drive to work and then I arrive at work, and then that's the end of the episode. So there may be installation videos, there may be review videos at some point, maybe, hopefully there's going to be a crossover video to other channels as I start to branch out and get a hold of myself in this you know, industry, or section of the industry. Big shout out to Blockhead Garage, John Maxwell. You know, y'all two, mainly Blockhead, but John, you've been part of it as well. Y'all two have been, what inspires me to motovlog, talk about random stuff, share my opinions, because I found lately with my customers that my opinions are not lost in the sauce island by themselves somewhere. They are shared by a lot of people in this industry. A lot of people in my life agree with the things that I have to say. I say a lot, probably like 50.01%. So, an extremely slim majority agree with what I have to say. But regardless, I'm gonna say it. And you're gonna like it, or you're gonna not watch any of my videos again. That is how this goes. So sit back and enjoy the ride. We'll see where this goes from here. It's gonna be a great year next year. I really, I'm gonna look back in 5 or 10 years if this becomes successful and say that 2024 was the year I really got started, even though this first video that I'm gonna post is gonna be 2023. There's 2 weeks left of the year, not even that. Let's not kid ourselves. 2024 is where it happens. Everyone's looking forward to the downfall of civilization, and I'm looking to the uprising of my YouTube channel. So there's that, and then there's people who like to get really close behind me to change lanes, and then, kind of just stay in my blind spot because they're jerks. So there's that, especially in your big red Chevy Silverado. So yeah, I want to start off with, I have been riding motorcycles since 2016, so 7 years. Not a long time compared to some of the guys that I work with, some of the people that I assist, some of my customers. They've been riding longer than I've been alive. But I've been riding 7 years. I started with a Yamaha. I got a Harley shortly after that, but I've ridden just about everything from Triumphs and Ducatis and BMWs and Suzukis, Hayabusas, ZX14s. I've raced. We'll get to that in a little bit, but I've ridden, super bikes, sport bikes, naked bikes, adventure bikes. The GS series from BMW is, I think, is wonderful. The Suzukis are great bikes. I think that as far as the three main manufacturers that are not Harley, that would be Suzuki, Honda, and Yamaha. I think Suzuki kind of inches out just a little bit as far as, if I were to consider recommending a bike or even getting another bike that isn't a Harley, which is hard to believe that I would consider. It would be a Suzuki. Their quality is a little bit better over time. Maybe not initially, but over time their stuff holds up a little bit better than Honda and Yamaha. So anyways, I've ridden a lot of stuff. I've been a couple of different places. There's a lot of places I've not been on a motorcycle. I started riding in South Carolina, picked it up in Florida. I took a trip earlier this year that I really wanted to film, but I wasn't set up for. It just didn't, it weren't in the cards, but I got to meet Blockhead while he was up there. But there was an event in Milwaukee for the homecoming rally that I went to with a buddy of mine. So that was through Illinois, which I'd never been in before, except for like a family field trip kind of thing, as well as Wisconsin. So those are kind of idea of where I've ridden before. But most of my riding now has been in Arkansas, mainly because if you do some math, you would notice that 7 years minus 4 is 3, and 3 is less than 4, and I've ridden for 3 years outside of the state of Arkansas, but 4 years inside the state of Arkansas. So it is safe to say the majority of my riding has been in Arkansas. I have been a few different places: Mount Nebo, Mount Magazine, Pinnacle Mountain, what's the other one? Eddie Jean. I've been there as well on my 2020 Deluxe with a couple buddies of mine, which is how I ended up on my Road King. That trip was brutal. It was completely unbearable from a comfort standpoint. It was a beautiful ride. I enjoyed the ride, but my Deluxe, which I'll probably try to find a way to share pictures, was a all show and no go. It was fast, had the same kind of setup that most guys have in their Deluxe: fishtails and 8 hangers and a little bit of motor work. I had a cam in it. It just was not comfortable. I had a custom stitched Saddleman seat. It was on air ride. It was on wide white wall, fat spoke tires, fat spoke wheels, 21 in the front, 18 in the back. Not designed for comfort. It was great to look at, and that's what I did. And so I took that trip to 3 of the 4 mountains there is to do here in Arkansas, and I got back, and like a week later I traded in for my Road King. I missed my touring bike. I had a Street Glide when I first started in Harley, and I loved it. I think that in my mind I always had an idea of doing a performance Road King build, to show people that you don't have to always get a road glide to have a performance bagger. I feel like just pause the video and go look up performance bagger, and the first 15 photos or videos or anything that you're going to see are road glides. It is what it is. People like road glides. I'm not saying that's wrong, but I'm the kind of person that I want to do something a little bit differently. I'm not going to be like, I did it before everybody else. No, I just don't want to fall in line with all the trends, because guess what? Trends don't lead to discoveries. Everybody follows trends, nobody discovers anything new, and then we don't get new trends. So somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to break out and say, hey, I don't want to do T-bars on a road glide, I want to do T-bars on a Road King. And then, maybe from there it sparks some sort of movement, as Arlo Guthrie would say. Most of them would be too young to know what a movement was. But maybe you spark some sort of movement, and if not, at least you're not like the very next guy sitting at an event or a show with the exact same bar setup, because that's just, I guess there's nothing wrong with that, man. As I say it now, there's nothing wrong with having your bike look exactly like somebody else's, unless you don't like it. If you don't like it, then there's something wrong with it, yeah. But if you don't care, if you like what you like, and that guy also likes what you like, chances are you're going to end up friends, and that's great. But everybody's like, I don't want my bike to look the same as everybody else's. I had a black on black Street Glide Special in 2019. Guess what? So did everybody else. They called it the Me Too bike. We would make jokes, and we'd go to Ace Cafe bike night in Orlando, and people come up to me and ask, hey, what kind of bike do you have? And I said, it's a black 19 Street Glide Special. And they're like, which one? And I'd point in a general direction, and I would be right. They could look and find a black Street Glide Special. Now, yes, I made myself stand out from the crowd with tiny details that nobody would ever do. But I didn't care. I loved that bike, and people made fun of me all the time. Oh, you've got one of those black Street Glide Specials? Yeah, I do. You want to know why everybody's got them? Because they're great bikes. Shut up. So, if that's you, if you don't care about matching with other people, if you don't care about not being the only person to have something or to have a certain look or a certain part on your bike, go for it. Follow the trend. I don't, more power to you. They're trends for a reason. T-bars are popular on a road glide for a reason. They work. They're comfortable. They're reliable. They're great for front end feedback. Right? That's why everybody does so many of them. Same with Legend suspension and these cams that a lot of people are doing. Everybody does them because they're good. But guess what? Someone had to put that in first before everybody else knew it was good. Someone had to say, hey man, I put T-bars on my road glide. And somebody was like, oh my god, that's so crazy. And then he was like, yeah, but it's really awesome. You should try it. And that second guy was like, you know what, maybe I want to try it. And he tried it, and he told the third guy, and the third guy's like, no, that's crazy. And the third guy tried it, and he's like, man, this is great. And that's how trends get started, right? But somebody's got to be that first guy to go against the grain, to go outside of the box, to go do, whatever. I'm not saying that's me with this bike, but that's me with my mindset. I want to do things that not a lot of people do. Everybody's running really short exhaust pipes or full length exhaust pipes on daggers, 2-in-1, HPI shorties, trash shorties, whatever. I didn't want that. I didn't want something that's screaming right next to my passenger floorboards. I wanted something that that was a little bit more, how do I say this, a little bit longer. So I got a mid-length Sawicki speed pipe from Denver, North Carolina. I had a fitment issue when I originally installed my first pipe. It was a sealed end cannon type, mid-length, and there was a fitment issue with the bracket, and there was a fitment issue on the Y pipe for the muffler. It wasn't sealing correctly, and I reached out to them and let them know what's happening. I sent the exhaust back, and within about a week, they got back to me and they said, hey, we're going to send you a brand new system. And I was like, oh my gosh, thank you. I will tell you the one caveat, though, is they were not able to send me the system I had for maybe about 9 months, which I had waited, 6, 7, 9, 8, 9 months for the one I had. So, like, if you want another sealed end cannon, it's going to be a while. And I was like, okay, let me try the other one. So I've got the non-sealed end cannon with the billet end cap that is eventually going to become carbon fiber later on in the future. But right now, that's what I've got, is a black billet end cap. But again, I get comments all the time, like, why didn't you go with a mid-length? Or why didn't you go with a shorty pipe? Why didn't you go with a full length? The look that I had planned for the back of my bike and the sound that I had planned for the side of my bike, both of those did not correspond to a short pipe or a long pipe. So here I am with a mid-length, and here I am getting comments on it every time it's parked up at work. That pipe is beautiful, that pipe is beautiful, that pipe just looks so good. Okay, well, to me, that exhaust is the focal point of my build, right? So, my exhaust is wearing a motorcycle. Alright, so the exhaust to me is being driven around by a motorcycle. It's not an afterthought. It's not a, hey, my motorcycle has a cool exhaust on it. No, my exhaust has a cool motorcycle attached to it. That's how I think of it. I'm so incredibly thrilled with this exhaust. The way that it looks, the way that it sounds, the way that it feels, the power band and all that stuff. But again, there was a lot of people that said, why didn't you get a shorty? Why didn't you get a full length? Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? Everybody else is doing that. It's not me. I don't like showing up and being like, hey, look at all those other people with the same exact pipe as me. Again, back to, if everybody has it, that's a good thing, right? That speaks to the quality of that part. But someone had to be the first one to say, I wonder if this is a good pipe. Let me go get it and tell all my friends if it's good or not. And, that's how the HPI Shorties, got a reputation. So here's what I'm talking about. Off on a tangent, I was able to go from talking about, how long I've been riding, what I do, all that stuff, and eventually ended up at pipes and builds. Anyways, so we're going to talk about that stuff on a later date as we slow down for this law enforcement officer that has somebody pulled over, because that's what you're supposed to do. All the traffic kind of slows down, back down to the speed limit, so that we don't end up oh god, you're going pretty slow, guy. Like, the speed limit's 65. I was doing 65 and I was running up on you in the middle lane, but that's fine. We'll talk about builds and the industry and all that stuff quite a bit, because obviously once you find out where I work. Alright, we are back. Had to run inside and get something that I will no doubtably explain later. But here we are. Quick short. We're gonna finish going to work. It's not a long drive from here. So sit back and continue to watch the video. I guess this is just gonna transition in. So you'll have to forgive me. This is my first video, first edit. There we go. It's probably necessary to move this thing under its own power to start it up. Yeah, here we go. Super weird. So I will tell you, while we're exiting this parking lot, MEMS is hard for me to comprehend, because growing up where I grew up, ambulances were not privatized at all, not even a little bit. They were operated by the fire departments. So when you got an ambulance that showed up to come pick you up and take you somewhere, it was a city of, wherever you were at. Here, it seems as though that's not a thing. Now, I believe the fire departments here in Arkansas, depending on the municipality, oh yeah, I'm pulling out big words, I like being smart, municipality that you live in, the fire departments may have like a rescue unit, and they may have MEMS or Pafford is the other company in-house, so that those guys can leave with the fire truck. But from what I understand, Pafford and MEMS are paid as a private company, private business, private corporation, whatever you want to call it, whatever it is. Technically, I guess it's not a matter of what you call it, but more so what it is. Whereas, like, city of Conway, city of Little Rock, city of Bend, whatever, they get paid by the city. City firefighters and police officers get paid by the city. MEMS also gets paid by the city, but they negotiate like their own contracts, I think, or something like that. Something weird. It's something I'd definitely like to learn more about if I had any more free time, which I do not. So that was long enough to stall and let you know that I work at a Harley-Davidson dealership. We are called, let's see if I can show it and then zoom in. We are called Rock City Harley-Davidson. We are located at 400 Gateway Grove Loop in Little Rock, Arkansas. If you're interested in buying a motorcycle or having it serviced, or even learning how to take, I guess not learning how to take, but learning how to ride, we have classes you can take for that. Additionally, if you're looking for some Harley-Davidson merchandise, this is the place to get it. I promise you. Really, really fun place to get it from. So Welcome to my work, guys. That's me. I'm on my motorcycle. Oh no, my bike fell over. Just kidding. So, yeah. We'll do a walk around at some point of this bad little girl right here. Maybe. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Maybe she'll just live in secret. And, maybe she'll just have to stay behind the scenes. Alright guys, well, that should be the end of it. I'll see you later. Okay, bye.